Governor, want to get your thoughts. We were just talking about a couple of things in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Real quick, politics in New York City. Mayor Mamdani, want to get your take on all the things that are happening and some of the big debate, but also what you think about the Democratic Party writ large on a national scale. We've been talking about what's been happening, the election in Michigan, and whether you think these are outliers or whether you think this is the new Democratic Party.
And did you ever think you'd see a headline, Governor? Israel-hating socialist.
Yeah.
Abdul al-Saud wins a primary. What country?
Yeah.
Where are we?
Yeah. Well, first, I hope it was a technical difficulty. I hope Joe didn't hit the button on me because he didn't
that would have been you'd hit the button on me when I asked you about Fauci. That wasn't me. That wasn't me, Governor.
Let's talk about the current political situation. We have extremes on the right and the left, right? That's nothing new, and they ebb and they flow. Republicans have the Tea Party. Democrats now have the Chai Tea Party. All right. And the left is hyper energized. Why? Anti-Trump anger has energized it. And there are real issues, affordability, and people are not being spoken to. Now, what they are putting forth is fraudulent. And that's becoming more and more clear. The mayor of New York City ran everything free, free buses, free food, free college, free, and with a smile. And the rich are bad people, and we're going to take the money from the bad rich people, and we're going to make everything free, and we're going to stop the oligarchy. Bernie Sanders, we're going to stop the oligarchy. I don't know what that is, but it sounds bad. We're against the oligarchy. Yeah, except what's happening is nothing is free. And none of that stuff is happening, and people are seeing that. Also, conceptually, change, reform, everything free sounded great. But now the DSA opened their mouth, Democratic Socialists, and they're starting to explain what their platform is. And it is frightening. And that's why you saw the lead in Michigan collapse. That socialist candidate was up like 15 points. And over the past 2 weeks, the Democratic Socialists have been talking about their platform. Do away with the president. Do away with the Supreme Court. Do away with the Senate. No aid to Israel. And I think people have said, whoa, let's slow down. If that's the change in reform, I'm nervous about it. But make no mistake, this has nothing to do with the Republicans. These are Democrats who are trying to take over the Democratic Party. They're running races that are going to help the Republicans. These socialists who win make it easier for the Republicans in November. But
Governor, no aid to Israel is the most sanitized version I've heard of what we're talking about here with both Mamdani and Abdul al-Saud. This is blatant anti-Semitism, and I don't see how that's not immediately brought up. In socialism and some of these policies are bad enough, but how is this suddenly acceptable just because it was on college campuses?
Yeah, no, Joe, you raise a very good point. It is anti-Semitism, in my opinion, when you say that October 7th was justified, when you refuse to condemn from the river to the sea. Globalize the Intifada, which basically means kill all Jews, and they refuse to repudiate that. It is anti-Semitism, and it is powerful in the Democratic Party right now, especially in primaries, and it has intimidated the moderates into silence. So if you notice, they all take these very careful positions because the anti-Israel faction of the Democratic Party is very strong. And I agree with you. It is anti-Semitism. When you hang out with a guy like Hassan Piker, right? The mayor of New York associates with people who are sympathetic to Hamas.
His wife.
And said sympathetic things about Hamas. This is anti-Semitic behavior. Is a person anti-Semitic in their soul? Who knows? There's only one person who knows. But are the actions anti-Semitic? Sure there are. Sure they are.
Look, I don't know if you saw last week, there was this 18-person legal advisory board.
Zero.
Interestingly, 50% of New York bar, the New York bar,
I know,
are Jewish, and 18 people, not one Jew, on the committee. I don't know what you make of that. At the same time, you can say Jess Tisch, who's doing a great job, by the way, right, with the security in New York City. He's Jewish. I don't know. I don't know, Governor.
No, you do know, Andrew.
Yeah, you do.
You do know, and Joe knows. There is no camouflage here. They are
Gentiles like yelling about it. I understand your reticence. I do. But sometimes I feel like I'm like, I don't know. I feel like
look. I think you can see it with your own eyes. So that's
my point. I have no reticence. I ran a mayor's race on this issue. This is anti-Semitic behavior. How can you be against Israel? It's been our greatest ally in the region, and more, you see why we need an ally in the region. But so they're not camouflaging their position. It is right out there. The problem is it is resonating with many Democrats. I don't believe the anti-Semitic piece is resonating, but the anti-Israel piece is.
But this is the thing, and it's very interesting, Governor. If you go around New York City, including a lot of young people who are Jewish, who don't see what you're saying, and I mean, I see parts of this. I'm not saying I don't see it. I'm saying there's a huge group of people who voted for this mayor who either don't see it, don't want to see it. What is your explanation of that, if to buttress or support your perspective?
Look, I believe the number one issue in my campaign was the Israel issue that drove younger people. I won with blacks, Latinos, working people. I won with people born in New York City. All right, think about that. But you have a lot of younger people who are against Israel's current policies. And they feel very strongly about it. Majority of the Democratic primary voters, 60-70%, are against Israel's voters. That's why these Democrats are all tiptoeing around it. And that's what they're appealing to. I like to believe, and I'm not a dreamer, I like to believe they think they can separate the anti-Israel as a matter of policy from anti-Semitism. Except they can't. They can't. And that's not what's happening. This anti-Israel rhetoric is anti-Semitic. And that's why you're seeing the violence against Jewish people in New York go through the roof and setting records, attacks, Jewish people afraid to be on the street, being attacked for wearing a yarmulke. It's a horrendous situation. And the Democrats, in my opinion, are not doing enough. And not saying enough because they're afraid of the Israel issue.
We got to run, but I have one last question, which is, at the same time that all of this is happening, New York is on fire economically. And that's the other side of the story. And so it's hard to make sense of the two sides of this debate, or is it not?
Well, so far, because it hasn't affected the business world, right? Yet. It hasn't affected the business world yet. But as the quality of life declines, as public safety declines, as taxes go up, you will see people leave. You're seeing people leave now. You're demonizing the rich. And they don't want to be in a place where they are demonized, and they have options, and they can move to lower tax states. They can move to Florida. They can set up a separate office. And we're in that transition period. This mayor's only been there a few months. It is going to get worse. People are voting with their feet already, Andrew. because you're not going to pay the highest taxes in the United States of America and be abused and be unsafe on the streets and unsafe on the subways. You're not going to do it.